taking away your people's opportunity. You are taking away the money by being this arrogant prick who cannot admit to a single fault you did yourself. Ah! So, quintheo react. Pirate Software is starting to spiral.
Just think for a minute, how would you respond to someone being that kind of brutally honest with you and even reiterating multiple times that they like you, knowing that they have been a part of this server for, you know, close to a year at this point? How would you respond to something like that? I would say,
hey man, brother, I appreciate that. Man, I love you too, bro.
Objective criticism in voicing their concerns with you. Now I'm going to show you the...
Oh, I didn't know I was this bad. I'm sorry. Any way I can specifically change? Right? That would, you know.
Direct opposite of whatever you just came up with. Pirate Software responds to them saying,
Oh no.
Doomer detected. Honestly, if all you're gonna do is doom post, just wait for me to be done and stop busying yourself with it. I'm literally writing right now, lol. Pirate Software is freaking out right now, and he's coming to grips with the fact that this decline in viewership and...
By the way, he's still 7 years late with the game. In terms of release. Remember that shit. He's late 7 years. The original, you know, release date was 2018, if I'm not wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm correct. Which he had a GoFundMe set up for that was $5,000 worth, $5,000. They hit the goal, shattered it by giving him $20,000 from the crowdfunding. And he's late 7 years.
Subscribers might actually be an issue for him. And even with him recognizing what's going on, he still cannot take accountability. So this was a message that was screenshotted from Pirate Software's Discord, and I received a screenshot of this message, and this message had just been taken on July 15th, today, as of recording this. So Thor put up this message in his Discord, going to be real for the people in the back who don't get it. You know where this road of attacks and well poisoning ends? It ends with shutting down company and firing everyone if they manage to poison enough people. It ends with no...
It's not other people poisoning your well. It's you know, closing it by throwing tons of sand into it. You are literally drying up your own well. It's not poisoning, you're drying it up. There is nothing to poison. There is no water. It's all gone. It's still down there, right? But you just keep filling up the well until it's like up to your fucking waist at the very top of the well. There is no water. Every time you throw the bucket down, only sand comes up, my guy. It's not other people. You just cannot admit to a single fault. It is never your fault. It is always everyone else's. And that right there is arrogance.
No longer being able to support the ferret rescue unless I can snag a job that supports it. People think this is some ego trip shit. Fuck no. I have people to take care of. I am not going to sit...
If you do, then just take accountability. I don't want to lie. Yes, but the correct business decision, even if you were correct, even if you were 100% correct and everyone is misconstruing what you're saying you were wrong will save the jobs of your employees, the ferrets you have in your ferret rescue, everything you worked for will be saved by a single lie. If that were the case, which it's not, which, again, yapping session is worth it. Yes, I hate this. Bro, again, you are literally taking away your people's opportunity. You are taking away the money by being this arrogant prick who cannot admit to a single fault you did yourself. Ah!
And let that shit happen, and you're dumb for suggesting it. Get fucking real. Seriously. Now, I'm not gonna lie, reading that, I had personally a very visceral reaction.
Oh yeah, I did too. Ford quit his first job and became a muscle pirate. I want to make sure you
guys have a full understanding of the exposition leading into this. As you saw right here, he says that
he's pro company, right? He's pro corpo. He wants people to make games, but the consumer should just buy new shit, even if their old shit gets revoked and like trashed, right? That's his stance on things, right? Yet he's gonna be at a point in life where he won't have money to actually buy games. He's gonna have to pirate shit himself, and then the law that he was against, he's gonna profit off of that. How funny would that be? Right?
Bottom here. I am not going to sit by and
by the way, it's not a law, it's an initiative. It opens up talkings for the law to be put in place. It's not the law itself that got accepted. Just so we are clear here. My joke could have been misunderstood, so yeah.
Let that shit happen, and you're dumb for suggesting it. He's referencing some lead-up messages, and I have those. So this is the start of it. Pirate Software doesn't at everyone. Too many people spamming about Heartbound's codebase. Update out tomorrow with Fern's new dialogue. Tidbits of architecture, philosophy, reasoning here for the goblins and kobolds so you don't get overwhelmed by people spouting nonsense. Bedtime now. And then he links this tweet here. Now this here is a response that Pirate Software had saying I had a few thousand people dogpile into my stream.
Holy essay. Holy essay.
About this today, and he goes into detail talking about specifically what he...
Pirate Software starting to spiral. How about 4 start to spiral into Thanos finger snap?
He was doing when it comes to coding and why he did it, talking about his shader system that he had made instead of like actually compiling shaders. Now I actually interviewed Level 5 Fish, the guy who showed up on Coding Jesus's video to break down the Heartbound code. I'll leave a link down in the description to Coding Jesus's video, but the interview that I had with Level 5 Fish will be coming out tomorrow. But now to keep it focused on what we're talking about in this video, these are some of the follow-ups here. Thor's talking about the message that he just put out saying also timed out and banned people for putting middle finger emojis on the announcement. Idiot behavior. And now you're going to notice that people that are there for Pirate Software, like this person here, are trying to tell Pirate, hey, you know, maybe don't react to the hate. And so this person here is saying, I think you're giving them satisfaction by even reacting to it.
So he's even saying, hey, yo, ignore them. You're giving them satisfaction. He's on your side. I bet with you. He is so much into the hate that he thinks this is the, what is it called? Fake empathy shit? Troll empathy? Troll, you know, this fucking bullshit?
And 2 people said, yeah, that one. And then Thor replied to them saying, when I have hundreds of thousands of people being misled and it's poisoning the well online about who I am obligated to counter. And if that's how Pirate Software feels about it, for sure. If I was in the same boat, yeah, I'd want to clarify people if they have a misunderstanding of who I am. I would say that most people aren't in that boat for Pirate Software. I think they're just watching him and going off of his actions, but I'm digressing. And so another person replies to that message that Pirate Software said and said, countering is timing out and banning. Talking about it is just going to rile up trolls more. 100%. Pirate Software responded back to them. Timing out and banning does not counter misinformation about my work. Evidence does provided now. Now, one piece of evidence that he really liked to bring up is the fact that...
How is Thor gonna counter? Is it by getting his hammer and beating the shit out of everyone? Well, man. I feel like the only counter he has is doubling down. Right. It's like, oh, I recognize I'm doing this wrong. However, I'm not gonna say it out loud because that would be me admitting that I'm not a genius, that I actually was arrogant this whole time, that, you know, all these negative things, that if I did it much earlier, nothing would have happened to this extent. Bah, bah, bah. You know, he's losing 10,000 subscribers a day. right? That tells you
apparently
everything.
Could run on a smart fridge, except we talked about that and it's looking like it was actually only mirroring to the screen of the fridge. Matter of fact, someone was able to get Heartbound to run on an Apple Watch.
Huh.
But again, he could be talking about other pieces of evidence that he's talking about, maybe specifically with his coding. Moving on though, someone else replied to him talking about the hundreds of thousands of people. He says, I think you are at risk of throwing further gasoline on the fire.
True.
If it's too hard to ignore, maybe try laying low for a while. Not a bad idea. And then this message leads into another one that I wanted to include, but I just wanted you guys to have a bit more context. These two individuals are kind of talking back and forth to each other. And this person says, honestly, having seen this kind of situation happen again and again, the only thing you can do is defend yourself and wait, hoping the internet will find a new target. That's sadly just how the internet works. You can't reason with it.
No, that's not true. That is simply not true. If we go by example, people have been trying to cancel Kirche for a month and 2 weeks straight, 6 weeks straight. $30 T-Mobile watch. I thought watches were 1 penny. No, look. People were trying to cancel Kirche ever since she got into her vacation for 6 weeks straight. She couldn't even truly defend herself because she was on vacation somewhere far away. She couldn't even go onto her stream and shit at the time. There were 3 hit piece articles made on, what is it called? That fucking newsletter thing? Yeah, just a newsletter, right? A multi-million-dollar company wrote a whole lot of bullshit about her, right? And what did she do? She just stayed calm, right? She has receipts for everything she ever said, basically. She said, no, this is not true. I have receipt for that. Here is the proof. This is not true. Here's the proof. Here's the proof for this. Here's the proof of that. And then, at the very end, when they still tried to push their propaganda of her to people, she said, I am gonna sue you if you continue lying about me, because this is libel. And it was. And what did they do? They deleted their free hit piece articles on her. She won as a single fox cartoon woman on the internet against a multi-million-dollar company. And this dude cannot say sorry to save his life, to save his employee's life, to save the ferret's life in his shelter. This is insane. And it's not like it's baseless. He had a open stream with a, what are those called? Therapist. The therapist said, you are arrogant in really nice terms, right? But he said, you are arrogant. And Thor was like, oh no, I don't like that. I'm not. Does he even hear himself? It's ridiculous.
Can't beat it. True. You don't win against the internet. It's just, that's not what happens. You do just have to lay low. A lot of the Mr. Beast stuff that happened, a lot of it ended up kind of fizzling out after it got addressed and then they stopped talking about it. Pirate Software had his moment of address, especially with the Stop Killing Games initiative, fully ramping up and getting the signatures, all that stuff. He could have just been done there, but he didn't stop. Laying low could just be the form of him playing Noida like he loves to do on his streams and not addressing anything and not having a ban counter up in the corner counting all of the people getting banned out of his chat.
But God, he has a ban counter?
To that individual that just said, I think you're throwing further gasoline on it, and says, yes, the streamer laying low, lol. I'm assuming he's interpreting that in a much more severe way, like to just get off of streaming, which...
No, again, even the good shit, the people on his side tell him lay low, and he's like, oh, just not stream for a streamer. No, that's never said. They never said don't stream. All they said was fuck off, don't talk about it. Just shut your fucking mouth up about that. Holy shit! Oh my god, I'm losing it.
I
I'm
don't
losing
think is
it.
the only solution, like I just stated. Continuing on though, this person is responding to that one I just previously showed you with the honestly having seen this kind of situation thing and said, well, I'm not sure those are the only ways to handle it. And Pirate, I believe, still talking about this previous one says insane request. Or I'm sorry.
Insane request. The low voice. Oh, you did good. You did good.
Insane request. Moving on, Pirate says this, you don't have to reason with the bullshit takes, but you do have to defend yourself from shit like this. Otherwise, the people in the middle that don't know anything will just instantly side with the only voice in the room. But that was
oh. For a long time, you were that only voice in the room. And then came the update where he informed people, hey, this bastard kinda ruined everything I stood for. For what reason? Well, for a reason he misunderstood. He misunderstood the whole thing. Or didn't, and just lied about it. Either one, I don't care. He did what he did. And then there were two voices in the room. And people sided with the one that was more grounded, more logical. The pro-consumer side. Also. Multiple reasons why they should be on that one. But you didn't really make the decision harder for... Or Pirate. I don't fucking care that you'd like to be called for. You are called Pirate Software Online. This is like the pros versus the cons. Yes! He is quite literally the cons only. Oh, you want to have games in the future? This can't be passed. That's not true. We're just gonna go back to the situation we had before everything became digitalized in terms of ownership. I still have my CDs in my closet from... Hi, how are you doing? I'm doing really good, actually. I'm just a bit mad about at Pirate Software. No, I still have my fucking CDs from PlayStation 3 and 4. Not 2 anymore. I gifted that to my cousin, sadly. I want to get it back, actually. I want to get my PlayStation 2 shit back. Why am I Swiss now? I feel like ass. Boomer alert! Yeah. No, I hate this shit. Also, I have a PSP with Final Fantasy on it still. And some Ratchet & Clank games. I like those games. They're good.
Followed up by this, but these people don't even care if you're right. How does banning thousands of people off of your live stream when they're asking questions and seeing if you're going to address something and then you using the same counterpoint every single time, how does that convert people into understanding your side more? Clearly, the arguments that you are making to defend yourself or to counter what you believe is bullshit is not convincing people. What that would tell me if I was in Pirate Software situation is that maybe I need to think about the arguments that I'm making and the fact...
Hold on. We too, my sister still has a 3DS and we still have Smash Bros. That shit is good. And what else? We have a bunch of games actually there. No, not a bunch. We have like 3. But yeah, it's good. It's good.
In Pirate Software situation is that maybe I need to think about the arguments that I'm making and the fact that they're not working when people are asking me. Like I've watched some of his streams. People will come in and ask those questions and he'll give the exact same talking points again and again and again. He's just sounding like a broken record and that's not convincing anybody.
Why am I neutral? I feel like ass. I think you mean neutral by Swizz because that's what happened in the World War II, right? It's like, yeah. Right? 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 Please tell me I'm right. The thing next to my message. Micro up? Microphone up? Thanks, Doc. It's mic up. Is this some kind of joke that I'm too stupid? Like all those trash talk, goofy Roblox ass kids say. Sorry, I do not have the brain rot. I apologize, I don't know what you're talking about. It's okay, me neither. Holy shit.
And if that's all you're doing, you know, shocker here, maybe there is something wrong with your argument. Maybe there is some legitimate criticism coming your way, and that's why people aren't satisfied with your response. Let me give you an example. In my previous video, link to it right now, he makes the argument in response to Coding Jesus going through his code and like saying, hey, improve it in this way, this way, this way. His response to this argument is that it doesn't need to be more optimized because it's running for people, and on top of that, it runs.
I hate that. It doesn't need to be optimized. That's why Monster Hunter Wilds is so shit. And with every update and content drop, it gets worse. When it came out, I could play it just fine on the highest settings. Optimize your mother? Optimize my dick by slobbering it. Fucking ass. Optimize this. No, seriously, holy shit. Optimization. Fuck this.
This argument is that it doesn't need to be more optimized because it's running for people, and on top of that, it runs on a smart fridge. Now, I actually...
That's why Oblivion remastered this 250... What? Optimize this. Optimize this.
Actually agree with Pirate Software's first argument. As someone like from the perspective of a consumer, I honestly don't care if his code doesn't look absolutely perfect. I care that it's done at this point quick enough so that people aren't actually going to be waiting a decade to get the game that they have purchased and were expecting to come way sooner. If this is...
Yeah. The reason why you can now fuck off with the code structure is because it should have come out 2018. It is the year of our Lord 2025. The game isn't even halfway done according to you. It has 2 fights, 2 mini games, and 4 puzzles. That's it. The first fight is 30 seconds. The second fight is 2 minutes. And the other one, you can barely call the puzzles, by the way. I saw the gameplay. The gameplay is absolute trash. That is some mobile game level bullshit for 2-year-olds, right? This is not a good game.
Is just a single one-off game for him that he is just making as a solo project, yeah, the organization doesn't matter as long as the game is running properly, is not riddled with bugs, and at this point, I just want it out. And so from that perspective, yes, Pirate Software is correct. He doesn't need to optimize the game more. But instead of choosing...
Hold on. Hello? Yeah! Who touched Sasha? Wait, what else does he say? Cry some more! Holy shit, my voice cracked. Your mom touched Sasha! Am I supposed to be awake for this? Cry some more.
Choosing to just say that instead of just choosing to say, hey, you know what, the coding isn't the greatest, I just want to get it out to people sooner. You chose to more than double down well past that and make this argument that it's optimized well enough to run on a smart fridge, which doesn't actually seem to be the case. You instead argue that it's so well optimized that it can run on a smart fridge. That's where people don't care if you're right, because now you're using an argument that isn't sound. You are ego tripping to use that excuse. But like I said, so this is that first one, but these people don't even care if you're right. And then the next one here is Pirate responding to them saying, you know who does care? The tens of thousands on the sidelines. And then this other Discord member makes an excellent point to respond to that. They say, those people are coming here or to this stream and seeing you show numbers of bans you have. Without context, it looks like boasting. Trolls are giving that context already, and gamifying it with ban announcements and counters.
Do people care if I'm left and don't if I'm right? My guy, are you talking about politics? I don't care what side you're on as long as you have like common sense. You can be left leaning, I don't care. Just don't be the extreme left, don't be the extreme right, right? And don't just have a sound mind, have opinions, don't pick a side. Just, you know, make decisions based on the situation. Not based on a side. That's stupid.
Just encouragement. You're going to fight this fight for the rest of your career this way. I have had it kind of in my head that it has started to become more and more of an echo chamber for Pirate Software, and it absolutely has, but it's really honestly refreshing to see so many people in his Discord that are still trying to support him and still trying to help him, like still trying to give good points like this one, like, hey, you're gamifying people being toxic. You're putting a number, and people like to watch a number go up in your streams if people act bad. You are incentivizing toxic behavior by including the ban number. And how does Pirate Software respond to this? I have fought that shit for 6 months without the timer. Your route does nothing. I'm gonna go out on a limb here because I don't have the evidence, but I'm pretty sure the amount of ban—
No, you didn't. From the start to the end, you have been doing it your way, Pirate. Don't come with, oh, I have tried your way. No. You didn't, because the first time you apologized and people accepted that apology. Was it the very next day? I don't remember, but what if it was the very next day? Even better. The very next day, or a little bit later, I don't care, you doubled down, went back on what you apologized for, and said, basically just said, fuck everyone. My router does something and it electrocutes you. Alright.
and the amount of people leaving Thor's, you know, community, like the over 100,000 people that have left over just the last couple of weeks, I feel like that's more than what he was dealing with the OnlyFans stuff. I could be wrong, someone could fact check me on that, but I do believe that, you know, gamifying toxic behavior is definitely not even close to helping. Kind of taking a pause from that subject, some other people were chatting in the Discord talking about potential slander claims. So slander has a legal bar though.
Yeah, but, you know, it is gonna be proven that it's not really salty games. Welcome to the Twitches and the YouTubes. It is proven that you are not being slandered though. There are some online trolls that are slandering you, sure, but try to sue them. They're just gonna delete the account. It's, you know.
Look at the turd versus death case,
the YouTubes.
And I don't think he's met that. And so someone responded,
right behind you.
Isn't there a case to be made for him having lost revenue due to the slander? To which Thor responded, yes. Now I've personally gone out of my way to make sure that any claims that I'm making about Pirate and his behavior or actions, that I am showcasing exactly what I'm talking about in my videos. And regardless of what people have said over the videos that I've been making or anything like that, I know that I haven't been acting in bad faith. I truly believe and go off of the evidence I see to make—
Honestly, he's very, like, neutral. For the amount of shit Pirate has been doing, he's been holding back a lot until he has real evidence, substantial evidence. That's kinda crazy. The pornography staring your mother is the second worst thing that has happened to you today.
The points that I do. And I would say that although, yes, I have been essentially covering this entire death spiral that Pirate Software has gone through, I have done my best to be charitable and make arguments.
Wait, what the fuck? Hold on. Which one was it? Wait, why do you have the party one? Which one? Oh. Is the angry emote? Subs only? What? Is that it? Really? Is that the thing? Wait a minute. Hold on. Monkey. He could be you. He could be me. He could even be dead. Anyway, let's continue.
And agree with Pirate Software where I can agree. And also, if anything that I have said or brought up ends up being untrue and I get asked to like do a cease and desist or like apologize, I don't have an issue with that. If I ended up actually screwing up, that's not an issue to say I was wrong and clear the air. But I'm actively making an effort to make sure that what I'm sharing with you guys is what is happening, not just going out of my way to speculate.
He's been very good.
I've just been blessed with the fact that he can't stop screwing up and
this
doing
guy's
it
like
in such
Switzerland
a
in a
messy manner.
whole nutshell. No, not really, because he does speak out against Pirate. It's just that he only does it with concrete evidence, right? When he has like someone who can look at the code and explain why the code is bad, or a game developer who explains why the game is shit, right? Like an actual game developer. So, you know, there's been he doesn't do shit whole fast, right? And I can respect that. I can. It's good.
Entire history of himself being online. Like him saying that he lost 2.5 years of game development to COVID when originally he was saying that he didn't even have COVID, and then suddenly he had COVID for 9 months. Like it's just all there.
How was it 9 months? Because after getting COVID once, you should be, you know, kind of immune against it for a while, at least. Don't ask us. So, I'm really wondering, how the hell do you have COVID for 9 months when the average young dude... He is a young dude, probably, right? He's not like 40, 50 years old, right? Whereas Clueless isn't... I don't know. Long COVID, but then he should still have it. The only COVID he has is the Corona beer, man.
There and documented. And now I want to transition over to a different conversation that was had, where Pirate Software just completely, in the face of someone who has been a part of his community, talks about how they're upset with the fact that the game has been in production for so long at this point, and expresses their frustration, and then Pirate bitches at them for their lack of tact. Now, these messages aren't from that individual, but this is where the ball kind of gets rolling. So this individual says, to be honest, the amount of content in the game is disappointing considering how long it's been in development. I had so much hope for it when it was first started. Does anyone know why game is taking so long to be released fully? They follow up and say, I really wish the best for the game, but it's kind of crazy how unfinished the game is after 10 whole years. I understand.
It's been 10 years. It's been 10 years. Holy shit. He's worse than the Yandere guy. Yandere Simulator had one of the worst codings in coding history. Apparently to every coder ever, right? How the hell is he worse? How the fuck is the guy with 7 or 8 years in game developer experience worse? How? Bitches, a definition of complaining. Bitches getting woman. Oh my god, hold on. What the hell, Salty? Hold on, what are you doing? Driving in my truck right after a beer. Hey, that bump is shaped like a deer. DUI? How about you die? I'll go 100 miles an hour. Little do you know I filled up on gas. I'ma get your fountain making ass pulverized as fuck with my beer good truck. It seems you're out of luck. Truck! Drive, 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 but a little speed. 7 beers, a pinch of weed have fried my brain. I need some more to proceed. Fuck off.
Understand that life gets in the way and the developers are trying to make the game as good as possible, but it is unjust to all the people who funded this project over 10 years ago and only have so much content to show for it. Now, mild correction, from my understanding, 8 years is as far as it has been in development. I believe it was 2017 is when the game actually hit early access where people could purchase it. Maybe the Kickstarter started a bit further behind that. Now, somebody responds to that individual having that gripe with the game development. They say, there is actually a staggering amount of content in the game. Tons of hidden secrets, multiple routes, alongside a whole ARG built into the game. So I feel it is a little disingenuous to claim it's lacking content. On a single route through the game, you could argue that the game is a little short. I've made this point before, but the game is also halfway done, with Animus being the middle point of the game. I think a lot of misinformation is being spread about the game because of some site metrics say it takes like 3 to 4 hours to completionist 100% the game, which is just incorrect. Animus is the most complicated part of the game due to the sheer volume of routes and options that are available, differing characters and points of view needing to be portrayed, which Thor saying multiple times they've struggled with the writing and have reworked multiple parts because they're unhappy with the result. With the game being a story game, a choose your own adventure, it makes sense to make sure the story is battened down. You wouldn't want an FPS game to release with half-baked gunplay. Likewise, nobody wants a story game with half-baked narrative. They also...
But it is half-baked narrative. It is. And the game itself is shit too. I've seen the gameplay. This is me right now. Bro, this dude is actually spreading misinformation about the game by saying, oh yeah, 3 to 4 hours for 100%. Oh, no, 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 no. Bro, we'd be lucky if it is actually 3 hours. You can't be serious. The puzzles aren't actual puzzles. And shit. I'm trying to make this funny too.
also want a game to be fully released after having owned it for potentially 8 years in early access. But you could still agree with them that yes, having all of these different alternative dialogue trees and all of this in a narrative-driven game is a very big deal, and it is going to consume a lot of time. I think you can give that ground. I mean, Pirate Software himself has repeatedly, and I mean repeatedly, talked about how the main bottleneck for the game is the writing and how difficult it is for him. Does that justify 8 years in development? I don't think so, but that is subjective.
Absolutely
now, this is
not.
the individual that I was talking about when I introduced this, and they were replying to that message that we just read through. They say, by the time the game is done, my son will be in college, and I might be misunderstanding, but are you saying it's not even halfway done?
What's a dialogue
I like Thor,
tree?
But at this point, I feel...
Shit. Where were we? There we were.
Hidden secrets, multiple routes, alongside a whole ARG built into the game. So all of this in a narrative-driven game is a very big deal. The game, buying Heartbound merch, subscribing to the that I was talking about when I introduced this, and they were replying to that message that we just read through. They say, by the time the game is done...
So if I press a different option to heavy, wanting to brush my... Holy shit. Your name is Blue in my YouTube chat, by the way, so, you kinda are the blue spy.
done, my son will be in college, and I might be misunderstanding, but are you saying it's not even halfway done? I like Thor, but at this point, I feel like my money has been wasted. Between buying the game, buying Heartbound merch, subscribing to his Twitch and YouTube, it just doesn't feel like I'm supporting an indie dev with a dream as much as a Twitch streamer with a side project. Its priorities have changed drastically. We haven't had an update on Heartbound since May 28th, presumably because because of the game jam coming up. Perhaps he should take a year off of that and focus on something else instead of telling everybody for months that Animus is done, which there is video proof of him saying. Again, I like Thor and I truly want to believe his motives are good, but man,
on the screen you're
That
yellow.
is one of the most like...
And in my Twitch chat that I'm reading, you're green. So, and in your Twitch chat, you're blue. So, you know, multiple things can be true at the same time. You know? Imiru VT. Hi. Hello, Imiru VT.
Real and authentic and honest arguments or critiques that have been given to Pirate Software. He's just being honest. His son could potentially be in college at this point. 8 years, that's a lot of time. And because of this lack of progress and apparently it only being halfway done, you know, based off what this other person was saying, yeah, that would feel wasted. To spend all this time on his YouTube, Twitch, watching the live streams, buying even...
I bought $200 worth of games. In what time? What time frame? Cause I don't think you want to see my library, to be completely honest. If that's all. I don't think you want to see my library if that's all of your games. Because I do believe my Steam account is probably somewhere in between $1.5 and $2,000 worth, probably. No, I mean like today, just today. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. In that case, hats off to you.
Merch for the game. You can't blame the guy. And he says it twice. He likes Thor, but this is so tough for him because he's just facing the reality of what's been going on. That Pirate's priorities have drastically changed. And just to show you guys, this is a screenshot of this person's about. They've been a part of his Discord for 9 months, getting close to a year now. This isn't someone that just popped in, hopped on a soapbox, and started, you know, announcing all their gripes with the development. They've been around. And then they followed up with this. I'm assuming, based on the context of what's in this message, that they were talking with someone about the game being review bombed. They say, well, I'm sure it has to do with everything that's going on with OnlyFans, but after looking at some of the most recent commented reviews, they are definitely valid. I wish he would focus more on the game as well. Just think for a minute, how would you respond to someone being that kind of brutally honest with you and even reiterating multiple times that they like you, knowing that they have been a part of this server for, you know, close to a year at this point? How would you respond to something like that? Some, like, I would say objective criticism in voicing their concerns with you. Now I'm going to show you the direct opposite of whatever you just came up with. Pirate Software responds to them saying, Doomer detected. Honestly, if all you're going to do is Doom post, just wait for me to be done and stop busying yourself with it. I'm literally writing right now, lol. Then it looks like...
Yeah, but you writing right now is not going to do shit, because you're going to need another 5 years to release the game. And by then, his son's gonna have finished college. Right? That shit takes 4 years, right? So, you know. It's just sad.
That message got deleted. They might have been banned from the Discord. I'm not sure, but that message gets deleted. And then Pirate responds to it. Good faith criticism is not claiming that your son will be in college by the time the game comes out. It's just stating things as raw and aggressive as possible while being an ass about it. Fuck's sake. That's what...
You mean like the time you said, oh, this can eat my ass. I'll drop the mask entirely. This can eat my ass. Eat my ass. This used car salesman bullshit. No, if this is true, this is bullshit. This shit. This is absolute shit. Dog shit. Remember that shit? You were being an ass about something else too.
Pirate got out of that message. Brother's just telling you that life has moved on for him and that his kid has grown up into a fucking adult. He's trying to make a point, brother. And this is just rich. Pirate Software then says, you can just be like, hey man, when is this coming out? Not
That's so much more rude though. with what's going on. He has been trying to ensure you, hey, this is not hate. You've been taking a while, you know. And hey man, when is it coming out is kinda bad. Not gonna lie, this is much more rude, but whatever. Whatever. Not writing a novel.
Writing a novel about all the imaginary shit that is.
Says the fucking essay writer. Holy shit, I can't.
Going to happen before it does. I'm sorry, is pirate software critiquing or policing someone else and how they're using tact? A dude that can't help but be arrogant even in the face of a therapist calling him out for being arrogant? A man who can't help but respond to every single criticism as condescendingly as possible? He's the guy giving lessons on tact in his Discord, and then Pirate ends up screenshotting that part about by the time the game is done, my son will be in college, and says, the fuck are you on about? So yes, he did say that. Shit's not necessary. Rage bait banned. Insane behavior.
Insane behavior.
How is that rage bait? Sorry if I'm a little wet now. My dog had to poo and it was raining outside. I think the biggest thing for me going through and looking at how Pirate is treating the other people within his Discord, people that aren't just trolling, that aren't just like screwing around, that are honestly like making earnest attempts to try to give him any ideas for how to combat the toxicity that they themselves are also dealing with by, you know, just watching him on stream and watching all these people show up and be toxic. They're making an earnest attempt to try to talk to Pirate Software and work with him on this. And he shuts all of them down, treats them like complete morons, and literally bans a guy who is venting his frustration about buying his game and being bothered by the fact that it's taken so long for the game to be fully released. And to see Pirate recognize that this is spelling a serious issue for him, if, you know, his viewership keeps dropping, people keep leaving, that he is going to have to downsize, that he's going to have to fire parts of his moderation team or scale down the ferret rescue, realizing that these are serious issues that are going to be presented towards him if he wants to keep running things the way that he is. And instead of having even the slightest bit of self-awareness, it's people poisoning the well. It's literally everything except his behavior. For me, this is probably the peak example of his ego taking over everything. Many people have said it before, but like out of anything that's going to cause the downfall of Pirate Software, it's himself. Now, maybe I've missed the mark on how I've interpreted or looked at these messages.
Absolutely
like maybe
not.
I've gotten a little bit biased just because the tact that he was using with the people that he was talking with in his own Discord just irked me that type of way. So I'd like to hear what you guys think. Throw it down in the comments below. If you ended up enjoying this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. Help us boost it in the algorithm. I don't really care. Subscribing if you're new here, want to see more content. But last thing before you go, I've got a little special announcement, a limited time special offer for you guys. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, this is quintheo.shop. We are doing merch, limited time merch that is ending this Friday. And as you can see here, the SS Double Down now boarding. And as you can see here, we have this hoodie and shirt with these super cool details. The first one
the SS doubling down. I got 125 XP. Are you proud of me, Booby? Yes. Good job. The SS doubling down. No, I got 150. God damn.
Here is showing the it's not doubling down if you're right with a very cool Quintheo pirate. And on the back side, my favorite part is for those that will scream he's doubling down. Yes, I damn well am. With the beautiful SS double down in the background here. Now I'll leave a link down in the description for this merch, and I should let you guys know as well that 35% of the revenue generated from this limited time merch will be going to Ross, the leader of the Stop Killing Games initiative. He has done an incredible job at getting so much attention onto the Stop Killing Games initiative and really giving it that final push that got us over that million signature goal. But if the merch isn't your thing and you still want to support Ross, I will be providing a link to his website, Accursed Farms here, where he has a dedicated place to receive donations. Now, Ross has said multiple times he's not interested in the drama aspects of this, so please, like, I am not trying to rope him into talking about any of this drama. And I think the guy has more than earned the donations that he's receiving for being such a huge help in trying to get the foot in the door to
Ross
have a conversation
deserves all the love he
rights
gets
and preserving video games. But that brings us to a close. Thank you for sticking around to the end if you did, and I'll see you guys later. Adios. Peace. Bye.
I love that laugh. I love that scream from him. It's actually good. So yeah. Quintheo React. or just quintheo. Very informative video. I loved everything that he said, like in terms of info, the way he brought it to us. It was very good indeed.